morning, students. Hope everyone is doing well, and our school is reopening on June 1st. Let's complete a part what has been left out, and thereafter we will be meeting in person soon. Okay, so human health and diseases, what and all we have discussed. Till now we discussed about some of the diseases, isn't it? So health, then disease, then we discussed about the types of diseases. That is, one is infectious and another one is non-infectious. Then some of the infectious diseases, causative pathogens we discussed. We discussed about, bacteria, isn't it? Bacterial diseases is completed. Viral disease is completed. Protozoa, diseases caused by protozoa we are going to read today. One is already done, that is your malaria. Hope so that it's clear. Now today we are moving on to the next protozoal disease, that is your amoebic dysentery. Okay. So the second protozoal disease what we are going to discuss is amoebic dysentery. This amoebic dysentery, when you are seeing, is caused by a organism, a protozoa, called as what? It is called as Entamoeba histolytica. Now this amoebic dysentery is having another name. What is the other name of amoebic dysentery? It is amoebiasis. Okay. So amoebic dysentery or amoebiasis is caused by an organism, a protozoan. What is the name of the protozoan? It is Entamoeba histolytica. Okay. Now, what is this Entamoeba histolytica? If you are saying it is a parasite. Parasite, you know, the parasite are organism which feeds on a living host, takes nourishment from them and thereby harm them. Okay. So just by sitting and taking nourishment doesn't mean that they are helping them, they are going to harm them. Then I call them as what? I call them as parasite. If they are just taking some nutrition but at the same time not harming them, then the relationship we call it as symbiosis, mutualism. Okay. So mutually benefited partners, they are living together. One is benefited from that of the other and the other one is benefited from the other. So this we have already discussed, we call it as what? We call them as symbiosis, isn't it? Mutualism or symbiosis. But this one, when you are seeing, this is causing a disease. And what is the disease which is causing this endo parasite is causing? It is amoebic dysentery and it is an endo parasite. So parasites are organism which lives on the living host and takes their nutrition, they are having a detrimental, which means it is deleterious or very bad effect. Okay. So then we call this one as what? A parasite on the living organism. They are having, sitting, living and they are taking nutrition from it. Now when you are saying it is an endo parasite, what is this endo then? There are two types of parasites. Okay. So one is your endoparasite and another one is your ectoparasite. Ecto, endo. What is the difference between this ecto and endo? Ectoparasites, when you are seeing, they live on the surface outside the body and take nourishment from there. Then we call them as what? Ectoparasite. Okay. So from outside they are taking the nourishment. Like lice, if you are seeing head lice, they are sucking the blood, staying on the head. From there they will be sucking the blood, isn't it? So that is ecto, living outside the body and taking nourishment. Endo, which means they are living inside the body, like tapeworm, roundworm, this Entamoeba histolytica, amoebiasis causing organism. They are living inside the body of living organism, in the intestine or in the digestive tract. Then what they are doing? They are sucking the nutrition from us, sucking the things from us. Okay. So then that we call it as what? Endoparasite, those who live inside the body of the host. Ectoparasite, those who live outside the body of it. Both are taking nourishment from us and harming us. Okay. So this is endoparasite, which means they are living inside our body. Is that clear? Yeah. So amoebic dysentery is otherwise called as amoebiasis. It is caused by Entamoeba histolytica and it is an endoparasite. Okay. Now what is this disease actually when you are seeing what is getting attacked? Amoebic dysentery, as the name says, is dysentery, something related to digestion. Okay. So they are transmitted. How they are transmitted from one person to that of the other, if you are seeing, it is transmitted through contaminated food or contaminated water. The eggs which is having, means the water or the food which is having the eggs of this protozoan, that eggs if we are consuming, they are moving into our intestine and then they are going to cause this disease called as amoebic dysentery or amoebiasis. Okay. Now this contaminated food and water is a mode of transmission. Now who is helping in contaminating this wood and water, if you are seeing? Then we give a term mechanical carriers. Okay, the pathogens here are like vectors we call, they are mechanical carriers. Okay, so mechanical carriers here in this case it's not a mosquito as we studied in case of malaria, it is housefly. Housefly is the organism or the mechanical carrier. Carrier means carrying the eggs. Okay, so imagine I am suffering from amoebic dysentery and I am staying in a slum and I have given out undigested food outside, proper sewage disposal system is not there. So obviously that feces contains what? The eggs of this Entamoeba histolytica. Now this Entamoeba histolytica eggs, when you are saying that the feces it is present, okay. So the person who is infected, in their feces this eggs will be present. So this eggs, what they are doing, the houseflies are coming and sitting on the feces. Obviously houseflies, you know, they do not are not hygienic in nature, so obviously they are coming and sitting over the feces and over the legs, on the hairs, and when you are saying they are carrying this eggs. Okay, eggs are very small, so it is being carried by them, and then they are going and sitting on the fruit in the bakery shop or anywhere. Thereafter they are sitting on the water for drinking purpose or something like that. They are making use of the same, isn't it? So the eggs are being deposited there in the water or on the food. Now the eggs are present there. Unknowingly, obviously we are buying and we are having it, drinking it. It is getting into, the eggs are getting into my body. In the intestine, when it's got suitable environment, the eggs will hatch out and they will start spreading the disease. Okay. So like this, if you see, through contaminated food and water, housefly is acting as mechanical carriers. Amoebic dysentery or amoebiasis is caused. Okay. Now moving on to the last part, when you are seeing of this amoebic dysentery symptoms, we have to note. I told you it is digestive disorder. So obviously abdominal pain, where it is affecting the intestine. So obviously it will be resulting in what? Abdominal pain. Thereafter you will have constipation, sometimes related to constipation, means digestive problems. Okay, constipation, hope so that you all know. Cramps, muscle cramps will be there, as if someone is pulling my muscles, the stomach muscles. Okay, and stools with excess mucus and blood clots. So stools means the passing out the feces, when you are saying somewhat watery it will be there, and this stools, when you are saying there will be somewhat mucus secretion, slimy secretion will be there. Along with that, sometimes blood is also found in the stool. Okay, so if these symptoms are noted, that is abdominal cramps, muscle cramps, abdominal pain, then you are having constipation, and the stools, when you are examining, if it is having mucus secretion, somewhat slimy secretion, as well as blood in them, then in that case you are supposed to suffer from a disease called as what? Amoebic dysentery or amoebiasis. Hope so that it's clear. So we discussed about amoebic dysentery. What is the other name? Amoebiasis, caused by Entamoeba histolytica protozoa, isn't it? How it is transmitted? It is transmitted through contaminated food and water. And who is the carrier there? The mechanical carrier there is the housefly. They are helping in transmitting from the infected person feces to that of the healthy person through food or through water. Okay. And the symptoms also we have seen. Hope so that it's clear. Next topic what we are going to discuss is, we are going to discuss about fungal diseases. In that fungal diseases, only ringworm is being discussed. Okay. So ringworm is the disease what we are going to discuss next. So this ringworm, the fungal diseases, usually when you are seeing, they are usually causing skin related diseases. Itching sensations, lesions will be present, rashes will develop. Okay. So that is regarding fungus, isn't it? So shoes and all, you have to properly wear it. If you wash and wear it, isn't it? If you are keeping the towels moisture content, if it is more, then obviously you can see fungus growing on them. Like that in our body also, if it is not taken care properly, not dried properly, fungus can grow, and this fungus can cause some of the diseases usually related to allergic diseases. Okay. So this fungus, ringworm, is a disease which we are going to discuss, and there are three causative agents for this disease. So who are the causative organism? One is microsporum. So this fungal, so fungi, all are fungi. Okay. Microsporum or trichophyton or epidermophyton. So these are the organisms which are likely to cause what? They can cause this ringworm. Okay. So this ringworm, how it is spreading from one person to another. Obviously, ringworm, when you see, it can spread only where there is contact, isn't it? So the contact, when you are seeing, it is contact with the infected individuals. So someone is infected and his or her material, if I am using it, or I am coming in close contact with that person, okay. So use towels or used combs, any things, whatever, cloths, handkerchiefs, anything of the used person, in case if I am using it, that fungus spores can be present over there and it can be transmitted to us also, okay. So usually contact with infected person, or the fungus can also be present in the soil. So from the soil also, those who are dealing with soil, means works mostly in soil, they have to maintain the personal hygiene, especially the hand as well as the leg hygiene has to be maintained. They have to wash thoroughly with soap and all. Otherwise, in the nails and all, the fungus may be present and it can cause the disease, okay. So through contact with infected person or through contact with the soil, there is the risk for getting this ringworm. And when you are looking into the symptoms of this ringworm, so what are the symptoms which are caused in case if I am getting ringworm? Obviously, the first symptom is dry and scaly lesions. Okay, lesions means some rash-like things starts appearing on the skin. Okay, they will be having somewhat a peculiar structure of a ring behind the ears and all. You can find mostly it is noted. Okay, so dry and scaly lesions on skin or in the nails or on the scalp. Scalp, you know, below the hair, the scalp, head scalp, there you can find, or on the skin you can find, as well as on the nails, these dry scaly lesions starts to appear. And these lesions, sometimes what happens is that if it is not treated in proper time, it will start itching and it can spread. Means from one place to another place it can easily spread. Okay, so like that, this ringworm is likely to cause a this organisms are likely to cause a disease. Okay, so this fungal disease we are just dealing with ringworm. So as far we have learned now here, the important is your plasmodium, and next we are going to discuss about helminthic diseases in the next class. Okay, this is enough for today. So today we have discussed about amoebic dysentery as well as we have discussed about ringworm. In the next class we will be discussing about helminthic worm related diseases and then prevention and control of infectious diseases. With that, infectious diseases to some extent it can be somewhat we have covered the portions. Okay, so hope so you have a good day today.